Before I even understood what gender was, the media was already teaching me. Hi, my name is Sarah Shields, and I will be explaining how the media created man and woman. From my earliest moments, I remember sitting in front of the big screen and watching all my favorite Disney princess movies, where these women were portrayed as nurturing, kind-hearted, soft-spoken, overtly feminine, and always serving their community. And for these traits, they were always validated and given love, but as a result, they were never outspoken or talked about anything other than the princess, who were masculine and strong and always there to protect and save the day. They were always dominant, adventurous, emotionally restrained, and powerful. So at the time, I always thought that these movies felt magical, but looking back now, I realized that they were shaping my understanding of beauty, relationships, power, and identity from a very early age. The main argument I will be focusing on is how gender is not simply reflected through media, but actively constructed and maintained through repeated stereotypes and expectations. Through television, film, and music videos, and even video games, media teaches audiences what men and women are supposed to be like and reinforces certain power dynamics over time. One of the most important distinctions made in the textbook is the difference between biological sex and gender. Biological sex refers to things such as chromosomes, hormones, and anatomy, while gender is described to be socially constructed, meaning it consists of learned behaviors, expectations, and cultural meanings attached to masculinity and femininity. Through socialization theory, argues that people learn about their gender roles through observation. Media acts as an agent of socialization, meaning audiences internalize what they see on screen. And although gender roles are a socially constructed concept, they seem to feel natural over time. This becomes especially obvious when looking at early films in Hollywood, where women were portrayed as damsels, seductresses, and love interests, while men remained as heroes and the narrative center. During the 1950s, films heavily centered male dominance and masculinity, while women were still often portrayed as emotional support systems, romantic rewards, or people needing rescue. For example, the film North by Northwest shows that even the leading female character, Eve, is shown to be intelligent and flirtatious. Roger remains the active force and the rescuer. As media evolved into the 1960s and the 1970s, hypermasculine characters such as James Bond reinforced the idea that masculinity was about being emotionally detached, dominant, sexually powerful, and aggressive. Meanwhile, women were made to be decorative, submissive, or disposable. This set the stage for the 1980s, where hypermasculine characters such as Rambo showcased that the ideal man was muscular, always in control, and dominant. So some scholars argue that these films reflected anxieties surrounding feminism and were made an attempt to reclaim masculinity during times of change. They wanted to hold their power. In more modern shows such as Euphoria, femininity is deeply tied to being desired and beauty and being overtly sexual, and even in some cases emotionally unstable. This is depicted in characters such as Cassie and Maddie, who were once best friends but split up by a man that they desire to be validated by. And his character name is Nate Jacobs. He represents many of the masculine stereotypes discussed in the chapters, who are emotionally repressed, dominant, aggressive, and obsessed with control. So this upholds how the patriarchy works, where the men are often framed as the active force, while women are objectified, desired, and emotionally consumed by their relationships, lacking agency. Additionally, music videos act in the same way, especially in early MTV culture. Often hypersexualized women were showcased for the male gaze. They were often portrayed as faceless bodies, sexual objects, or playthings, while men were showed to be powerful, rebellious, and dominant. However, female artists such as Madonna, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and Janet Jackson complicated these portrayals by using music videos as spaces for empowerment, independence, and resistance. So they're taking back their controls, taking back the narrative that being shown in this way strips them of who they are and their power. For example, Beyonce's Lemonade music video is a perfect portrayal of intersectionality and showcases and talks about powerful exploration of womanhood, race, betrayal, resilience, and intersectional feminism. Video games are no different and are to be critiqued. Men are still showcased as hyper-masculine action heroes who are very muscular. They solve problems and suppress their vulnerability. They don't ever show it. And while women are overly sexualized in the way that the art style presents them and in their clothing choices and how they are presented. So both of these themes uphold unrealistic expectations not only for women, but for men as well. On the flip side, modern media has also started challenging some of these stereotypes, such as Orange is the New Black, which is an example of multidimensional representation because it includes women of different races, sexualities, body types, and gender identities, rather than reducing women to simple stereotypes or romantic roles. This series in particular demonstrates how gender interacts with race, sexuality, and power, showing that there is no single universal experience of womanhood. In all, what stood out to me most when learning about gender roles is how much the media impacted and shaped my own understanding of my own identity growing up. The movies and TV shows that I held so close to my heart growing up were never just about entertainment. They were actively teaching me how gender was supposed to show up, what it was supposed to look like, what it was supposed to behave like, and what was socially accepted and unaccepted. In conclusion, media does not simply mirror society, it helps create it. So it is through repeated portrayals that audiences begin to internalize ideas of masculinity, femininity, power, desirability, and help shape their own form of identity. Just like I did with Disney princesses, until they become to feel normal. And as a society, we all perpetuate it. So that's what makes media so powerful and important. And I've learned so much through your class, so I'm so thankful that you're my professor, and I hope you have a great rest of your summer break.